How's everyone doing? Welcome to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday. Now get ready for tomorrow. Powell going on the microphone. Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. This is your boy TraderPrad. TraderPrad. But if you guys are ready for this show to get started, why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. Yo, what is up, my fellow D-Gens? How's everyone doing? Welcome back to a brand new week, brand new episode. I know I was taking a day off yesterday. I was still a little hungover, a little sluggy, a little groggy from all the partying on the weekend, but we're good. We're back. We're locked and loaded. Get ready to talk about the market, all the fun movements happening on the stock market, the what looked to be a nasty pullback at the middle of the day, and then a reversion right back to the north side. So buyers still there in the market. We had the great Chinese market gapping up to the north side, and then I think a lot of them actually managed to close red or managed to close break even with a big gap up in pre-market. So we can talk about that. I think the Japanese markets had a little bit of a down day today, possibly because they're raising interest rates, and you know how they raise interest rates but could mean a bad thing for us. We also dropped our interest rates, so does that even itself out somehow? So there's that still the carryover trade that we need to see how that plays out. Then we have the airlining sectors, which gave you a nice pullback short. Maybe we're talking about that short. So lots of plays came into play today. The China sector could be getting ready for a pullback. We have silver, gold, Bitcoin, so many things getting ready to give us some sort of an opportunity to make a play, even if the market doesn't, right? The market has a 1 month of what I believe could easily do nothing period before we start picking up going into elections. So I'm not really expecting the market to do a whole lot. But just with the most recent action we've been getting on the market, today we also had Powell talking, so market selling off, I guess, during Powell's comments, and then going back up after he's done talking, basically having a nothing burger move overall on the whole day today. Pretty sad. But if you were looking at the right names, you got so much opportunities on the right names. The China sector specifically, big sell-off on the Chinese sector today after gapping up. So does that mean that now we're getting that characteristics change that we were talking about last week? We're finally seeing the characteristics shifting a little bit on some of these Chinese names, potential downside opening up, some sort of a short-term mean reversion opportunity coming into play on these China names. We also got names like Nike reporting earnings tomorrow after hours, so make sure you tune in at 8 o'clock for that. We have a couple names that report tomorrow pre-market on our watch list. We'll go through all the Chinese basket of names too, and then see what other fun we could have on the market tomorrow. Before we do that, let's quickly say hi to all the beautiful people we got in the chat today. We got Dieter. Well, how you doing, Dieter? Hopefully you killed it on the market today. For me, for the most part, it was a no trade day. I didn't really trade today at all, so no trade day. Stay very patient. Just watch the market move on the sideline, coded here and there on my algorithms. But let me know if you traded. TH saying number one. No, TH, you're not number one. And Dieter is. And guess what, TH? A lot of your messages actually don't show up on YouTube, but they show up on my platform over here, which allows me to bring in your comments. And looks like these messages may have been flagged and auto-deleted by YouTube. So if that's the case, I'm not going to bother showing them. TH, don't try to get banned. You're gonna get banned on YouTube for these comments, and this is how you get flagged on people's chats. Because see, I have 3 messages here on my platform that I don't see on YouTube chat. So clearly, you're doing something wrong that you probably should not be doing. We got Victor in the house. Victor, how you doing? Great morning stream once again. Enjoy it every morning. I usually roll into it around 9:30 or so. 9:30 to 10 o'clock, 10:30 every single morning is when I usually catch Victor. But Victor streams, I believe, at 9 a.m., 9 to 10 a.m. every single morning, Monday to Friday. So go check out his stream, ladies and gentlemen. 9 to 10 a.m. or maybe even 10:30 sometimes. You can ask him fun questions about market, investing, and all kinds of stuff. October could be volatile, says Victor. Now that is juicy to my ears. We did have the volatility index go up a little bit today. Volatility did go up, but then eventually that got stuffed back down too. I was watching UVXY. UVXY is kind of like looking at VIX basically, but I think UVXY's instrument has changed quite a bit to the point where it doesn't really act that way, even though it does. So couple changes over there. 0-day DTEs kind of ruined the game on UVXY apparently. I don't really trade UVXY like I did back in the day, so I wouldn't know the difference. I'm just quoting people who are better than me, seeing what they have said, and I'm just basically quoting them about that. But VIX, we did see a spike in VIX in the morning, but that got stuffed back down right after the market started going back up. Good evening, Prad. I smashed the like and looking for tomorrow's action. Yes, sir. Let's look for that. We got Momo in the house. Momo saying Downtober. Momo, don't get me excited. You know, little bear over here has been very, very patient, so he's gonna be very excited for that. Mikey, let's go. Let's go, China, says Mikey. I know you're also happy about Nike, right, Mikey? That rhymes. Mikey is also happy about Nike, so shout out to that, and shout out to Mikey for being my only member and my member for 7 months in a row. Big dog. That's love right there. That's love right there, chat. Dieter says he could not trade. I understand that. Me too. I ain't no coyer boy. You're just asking for YouTube to ban you. You're just asking for YouTube to ban you. Alright, let's head over to the full screen. Here is the time that Victor actually streams at. There you go. 9 a.m. EST, Monday to Thursday. Go ahead, check him out on his channel. Here is the earnings board for this coming week. This is something usually we would have taken a look at on Sunday, but obviously I couldn't stream on Sunday. So here is the earnings board. CCL reported today pre-market. That gave you a nice little fade off if you were looking for, or I guess not fade off, but it gave you a decent bounce long if you were interested in that. CCL made a nice move back up, but still looks like a bearish move incoming. Tomorrow morning, we got Paychecks and McCormick. Those are the only two ones I care about. And McCormick is also a very boomer name. Very, very boomer name. So I'm not really looking to momentum trade McCormick unless it goes to some crazy levels. We'll take a look at the chart really quickly to see if any good levels open up in the pre-market tomorrow for us to take advantage of. Then obviously we got Nike At after hours, most recent advantage for Nike, along with this earnings report, is the catalyst, the news catalyst that dropped for the stock. The change in CEO, a very long-term employee, is now becoming the CEO of the company instead of not an analyst, but instead of like a third party member coming in and trying to become a CEO, which was what the Nike was facing earlier with John Danaher. So over here now, Nike taking internal ownership once again, with somebody who's been with the company for a long time, knows the company, knows exactly what people want, hopefully. So big change incoming, and Nike made a nice gap up to the north side, and we'll see if this earnings report will start showing some extra traction to it. Although since that CEO change was very recent, this report should have nothing with the new CEO implemented in it yet. You know, basically this is the past, but we'll see how the future entails. A couple other companies that might be interesting coming out will be Levi Strauss, and Constellation Brands, CTZ. Always something that I keep an eye on when the earnings season comes. So CTZ, keeping an eye on that one. Very, very small earnings board, but with you know, potential volatility opening up in the market. With today the market did go up. Let's call it how it is. The market did have a green day, 0.27, but originally market did look pretty weak. We can take a look at the VIX over here. Let me turn off all my indicators. So here is the VIX for 5-minute, and this is September. So the VIX at one point did start higher, and then eventually we got pulled back on the VIX, but now we're hanging back into 16, 17 areas. So let's get that gap up, keep on gapping up, get back above 19, and then a range between 19 to 24 and an expansion past 24 all the way high. That could just open up so much downside on the market. I will get too excited. I kind of don't even want to be ready for that one just yet. I want to see the market really show me the bearish open up. Until then, I don't want to talk about it because I know I'm just going to force that trade. And I think there was this quote from the latest podcast that I saw, and it said, being early is being wrong. So there's always a moment in trading where you go, oh man, my idea was right, but I was just early to the trade. And being early is being wrong. So we got to understand when to really catch the move. And that's why I think the Chinese sector right now could be opening up for that downside. We're finally getting a little bit of a characteristic change. Big stuff back down on the FXI ETF, which is a Chinese large cap ETF. Actually green at one point in the day, to the point where we end 1.21% down on the day. So BABA red, JD green if I remember correctly, but very slightly. Baidu red, Baidu green, okay. Pinduoduo red. So big pullback, showing us some sort of a change in characteristics over here on the Chinese ETFs. So getting ready for these type of actions to show up for us to get ready to go short. You don't go short on the move up. You let the sellers show their cards, show where they are, and see how they react when their prices are tested. If we get a pullback, how do the sellers in these areas react? Are they paper-handed and closing their positions and letting the stock take out previous day's high? Are they showing strength above previous day's high? Are they showing weakness again around previous day's high and stuffing it back down? Are they showing weakness around previous day's VWAP and stuffing it back down? So a bunch of technical levels open up after a good characteristics change like this on the Chinese stocks. Let's quickly go back to the top of my watch list over here, starting with the earnings names on board tomorrow. Here's another very slow boomer name unless earnings report comes out. We have seen the stock get a little active during earnings reports and have a wider than $2 ATR, which is what it says it is at the moment. It's a $134 stock trading around 1.5 million shares with $2 ATR. Not really something that's too exciting, right? We got Nvidia, we got Meta, that are doing way more liquidity and give you a way higher ATR to play with. So why would you even bother with this name unless it really goes to a big level for us to play with, which is this all-time high into 142, or goes back into this multi-month high around 130, then I'm not really looking to make a decision. The stock could easily chop around this area. So off the earnings move, I want to see a big reaction off of which we can look to see if we can play the mean reversion, or we can look to play the reject off this area, or a hold above this area sets up for a bigger move up, and a hold below this area sets up for a bigger move down. So we can join the trend, or we can look for the reversion, join the trend. Sorry, trend would be up here, or look back for the reversion on PayX. Previously, we have gotten the date from Earnings Whispers wrong for PayX, so hopefully they do report tomorrow, because last time PayX was supposed to report on a date, they didn't. They reported a whole week after. TradingView also says they report tomorrow, so let's see if actually ends up playing out that way. Another name that not really too excited to trade tomorrow, but if it does give you a big reactionary move off of its earnings, it either sells off big time to the downside or pops high to the big time, then we can look to make some decisions. This is McCormick, MKC. If you guys probably all know McCormick, if you cook by any means at home, they got some spices and all that other fun stuff. Cinnamon Zin. There was a test done on Zins, these containers, to see what exactly does a cinnamon Zin have, and they were able to only find two chemicals. One of them was McCormick cinnamon, and the other one was nicotine. That's how pure Zin was, apparently. So just a shout out to McCormick over there. But overall, just looking for as a trade, very boomer name, not really looking for a day trade on this. If it is a day trade, then it's going to be a very slow, passive, intraday swing setup type of a play. If it pulls back to VWAP and holds it at VWAP at some point, not looking for a breakout momentum type of play, or I'm looking for a reject around the high day if it's just going up too far too quick. I'm using some extra measurements at my disposal at that point. How far is it from the 200 EMA? How far is it from the 50-day moving average, and so on? So using a lot of those tools to see how far the stock is, and if there's more room intraday for it, then I'm just gonna let it be. If there's not more room, then I'm gonna look for the short back to the downside. Same thing vice versa. Is there more room below $60? I really don't think there should be more room below 59.60 on this position tomorrow if we do flush. But if we do get more room below 59.60, then that's really doomsday, right? A lot of people's accounts are going to be breaking. They're going to be upset about that move to the downside. Ideally, you could see a bounce from here that takes the stock back into $63-$64, where you're risking $1, $2 maybe. You're not risking $2 on this position, I'll promise you that. But maybe you're risking about $1, depending on where you get long, and you get about a $2 move mean reversion back to the north side. That's a beautiful long 2:1 opportunity, right? So we'll see if that sets up on McCormick, but it's only interesting if we really make a big move. Just going back into 74, maybe we could keep an eye on it, but I'm talking going back into 67, 64, or going all the way into 94, 100 areas. Then that gets me excited to keep an eye on MKC. So tomorrow, our main focus is mostly going to be China. YouTube can bite me, says. Well, it's gonna get you one day. It's gonna get you. On the other show, they shuffled the girl around. Some guy in the chat said he was pratted. Oh, damn. That's hilarious. Yeah, they don't care about the viewers, or sorry, they don't care about the hosts at all. So anytime you ask for a raise, they'll just jip you, screw you over, and they'll get other people to try and host for you. And then eventually, watch what happens to Obi now. Obi's not going to be on the show as much. Keep watching. They're going to screw Obi over too. That show is just a piece of shit show, man. Everyone on that office is just garbage. Garbage, garbage, garbage. Except for one guy. That's it. Except for one guy. He's legit. He's a real dude. Everybody else in the office, piece of shit. Zim. We could take a look at Zim. I think Zim recently broke out of 24, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it did break out of 24 and is continuing to catch some traction here. Okay, so Zim is getting ready to continue going higher. Even with the market pullback, we didn't really pull back too much. We actually went back into yesterday's high, Friday's high that is, and bounced right off of Friday's high. So Zim continuing to rise higher here. We have a multi-month high break and getting ready to potentially go make a new 52-week high. No, we're already at the 52-week high. So shout out to Zim. Let's go to the monthly chart here. That is November 2022 high. That's around $30. And we just took out this $25 area, most recent high. I mean, this consolidation I'd say is more important than this because we consolidate here and went back and forth for quite some time. So Zim, I would say this area is not as important to me than how important this area is. And breaking out from that and resolving higher is actually very bullish. I mean, you have a very clear defined risk and your reward, shipping container name. You see them all the time. If you're on any busy streets in any of North American roads, you see these containers on the back of trucks all the time. So I'm not sure why they were so heavily shorted, why such bad things happen. I guess Evercore, that the Suez Canal problem probably came into play. The shipping rates and everything probably went down with COVID and everything else in the middle. Probably, you know, I'm just guessing over here. I'm not sure why it got attacked so hard, but this is a company that's been existing for a really long time, hasn't it? Like Zim, if I remember correctly, was existing longer than I've been born. 1945. So pretty late IPO. Maybe they were IPO'd already back in the day, de-IPO'd or whatever the term is for that, and then they now got back onto the market pretty late, had a beautiful rally, and then got stuffed back down. So I'm not sure what the reason is for all of those crazy moves. I haven't really dove into it, but all that matters to me is this most recent history of going back and forth and then a breakout. This is pretty clean. You even get a nice 3-day bar breakout into that $24, taking us into 25, and today actually holding above 25. So Zim could potentially continue set up for a trade, but this is not really something I would maybe keep an eye out for a day trade. I don't know. If there is enough volume, I'll keep an eye on it. It is, what the hell? Can't seem to add. Alright, whatever. I can't seem to add a stock to my watch list. What's this? Oh, now it works. Of course, when I'm trying to display it, it works. What a stupid piece of crap software. Anyways, so Zim, potentially to keep an eye on. I think as long as it stays above 24, there's still a long over there. I would much rather look for a long into 24 hold than looking for today's low / yesterday's high to come into play. But that is part of the setup. If we do hold 25, I'll actually put 25 as an inflection level, support as 24 because that's the previous resistance, and then the new resistance that we have around 26.20. I'm not even going to put that on the map. I think the next real resistance on the stock is around $30, so it could easily climb up there on a swing pattern, and Zim is very much setting up for that with the most recent daily chart breakout, with the most recent monthly chart breakout. This one is flying off, baby. Fly, fly, fly. Something that is potentially not going to fly tomorrow, Well, we'll see. I won't throw away crazy claims like that, but that's a pretty big pullback on NIO, XPEV, and Li Auto. All of them got slammed back. XPEV and Li Auto actually closing in the red, whereas NIO, which I said it was the more bullish case than the other two. Why? Because of this most recent hold, and this pattern shows you that they're sealing off the downside. So realistically, expecting the stock to go much below than this on any short position is crazy, right? So NIO, I said this was the more bullish case, and you can see how today NIO was actually the one that had the positive catalyst in pre-market. They rallied higher in pre-market, and on the pullback they managed to still close green, whereas XPEV and Li Auto, they were the sympathy plays, and they got slammed back down way harder with the rest of the Chinese sector, and did not manage to close green. So if I'm looking for a short in the sector tomorrow, once again, you could look short in NIO. I'm not saying it's wrong to look short in NIO, but you got to manage your expectations on how far the pullback can be. Whereas the pullback on these stocks, these have struggled before. Their earnings have struggled. Their deliveries have struggled. All they're doing is leaning off the Chinese catalyst and the NIO sympathy catalyst from today. So when the pullback happens on these, it's going to be drastic. So watch. Keep in mind, my niece just came home. She's going crazy. So watch these stocks tomorrow. Watch how Friday's high comes into play on LIO and on LIO, on Li Auto and on XPEV. Watch how Friday's high come into play. Expecting Friday's high to be a rejection and not even be able to go into today's high. This if we start managing to hold above Friday's high on these stocks, on XPEV and on Li Auto, I would say there's no more short on this position. Potentially you can look for a long into Friday's high, into today's high, but that's something that I might not even bother to do. I'll just go look for a long into NIO instead, because that was a stronger stock. That was the has better patterns on the daily chart for the bullish case and everything. So if I want to look long, I'm gonna just go on the most strongest stock in the basket. Continuing down the basket, but not really in the auto sector, Baba, JD, Pinduoduo, and Baidu. So instead of trading all of them at the same time, you could just specifically trade the ETF itself. Kind of the same idea, anywhere from Friday's high into today's high. It's basically 50 cents out. It's not a lot of difference from Friday's high into today's high. So looking for resistance to be getting built into that area, and for us to start getting that pullback on this position. I mean, we have a 23% up move so far, 30% up move, but with the most recent down move today, a 23% up move from how many bars? That is 14 days, so 2 weeks, 23%. Are we really expecting the Chinese market itself to go up by 20% in the next year? Double in the next year? I don't think so. So these are just buy the news, whatever. I know it's usually sell the news, buy the rumor, but these are just kind of rumor buys, and eventually when the correction comes, we're gonna have a lot of fun. And I think this is the opening the gates to the floodgates. So we're watching the floodgates possibly get opened over here. Taking out Friday's low and pushing into Thursday's low is automatically bearish in my opinion, where I'm looking to short any pops. But if we already pop into tomorrow's open, go into Friday's high, into today's high on the FXI ETF, then I'm looking to get short on these ETF. Kind of the same idea on most of the stocks themselves. I'm going to be watching how Baba, Pinduoduo, Baidu, and JD, all of them are trading. Even XPEV, Li Auto, I'm going to continue shuffling through them throughout the day as I'm trading FXI. But if I see that FXI is doing really strong, then I can also switch my idea completely from looking short and really hunt the one stock that's really strong in FXI and really get long on that one. Let's look for the chat over here. Where are we? YouTube can bite me, Ardretta. Hi Prad, can you analyze XLF, MU and ANF and Costco, please? Thanks a lot. Neither of those were on my watch list except for Micron. So let me quickly go to ANF. I mean, I'm not sure what I want to do with ANF. I don't want to short it. I do want to short it, but I don't want to short it. I'm saying that because anytime I've tried shorting this stock, it's just it's crazy. This name is crazy. It's wild. Doesn't have a lot of liquidity. The spread's insane. Right now, that is tightening up. There is a tight range. So if you're looking to play the expansion of that range, that's an easy setup right there, right? You got the expansion to the breakout side up here. You got the expansion to the breakout side down here with another little breakout level right down there, another quick breakout level right down there. So you gotta have to fight those levels potentially on the way down. Usually it's elevator down and stairs up. So if it does go down, we are expecting these levels to kind of just give out very quickly. But if we start going up, you have seen how crazy the stock has been. It's been one of the biggest reversal stories in investing history and management history and so on. That one female CEO, I can't remember her name, but she completely turned the company around to the point where this company now has a shit ton of short float. Yeah, damn it, Prad, can you speak? 7% short float. That's not a lot actually for a company this big of an insane move up. So take that says itself right there. It's the PE is not bad. It's not a high short flow. There's only 50 million flow, and good luck to anyone who short the stock with their earnings report coming out in the next 50 days. They've been on a ramp. So I'm not sure how I would look to day trade this unless there's a real ramp in volume. I would not even touch this stock. Stitchflix client experience is built to plat long-term longevity. Okay, looks like there's no specific catalyst on this name either. So I would not even bother to look to trade it. Costco is just too expensive of a stock to day trade. On earnings day, it didn't really do too much. It went down 1%. Boo-hoo, big deal. I'm not going to bother with it unless Costco has a stock split. I think, did they announce a stock split? I can't remember at the moment. But if they did have a stock split, then maybe then it gets interesting. But now as a day trade, it's not something that I'm going to even bother to keep an eye on the watch. This is just a waste of time. As a day trader, you're looking for stocks that actually have volume, can have liquidity for you to play with, and have a range that you can take advantage. Nothing of that stands out for me on Costco. So that's Costco. Micron, I'll come back to it when I actually get to that part of Micron or part of watch list. In USA, a dock strike in CA will bring deliveries to business to a halt. What does that even mean? What are you talking about? Angry Buddha's in the house. What's up, Angry Buddha? Actually made it. I love it. Neil speaks highly of you. Sean and Brendan are evil. Sharif's a rogue and Adara's adorable. That's cute. Dude, what is that Zen navel gazing Zither music? Are you stoned? Is there different music playing that should not be playing? I hope not. I'm gonna get demonetized very quickly. Hope there's no music that's not supposed to be playing. No, it's just Dieter music. Be nice to Dieter. Be nice to Dieter. Literally had a Bitcoin bro literally had a Bitcoin bro mad that I was only 90% of Bitcoin and trading 10%. Hey man, just take profits. Enjoy what you did. You can always do better. That's the shitty part about this game. This game sucks because of that reason. You can always do better. People always get, you know, they go hard on themselves. No diddy. Well, I guess going hard on yourself is not that bad, but don't go hard on another person like that, right? Especially not an underage kid. No diddy. Don't be hard on yourself. This job is hard enough as it is. This business is hard enough as it is. And as long as you focus on not repeating the same mistakes, you know, learning from your mistakes and getting better, that's the only thing that matters. That's the only thing that matters. If you see change from week to week, year to year, month to month, day to day, awesome. If you see yourself repeating the same mistakes, then maybe you got a bigger conversation to be had, right? Bigger conversation to be had at that point. That's what's up. That's what's up, baby. Hell yeah. As long as you're seeing growth and you're not making the same mistakes, who gives a shit? In this job, you can always exit at a better price. You can always enter at a better price. You could have always held it longer. You could have always got out quicker. You could have always take less size. You could have always taken more size. It's such a hindsight 2020 business that I just hate looking at things that way at this point. You just have to focus on what's next. I understand what I did here, and I'll try not to do the same thing again. How can I get better? What's next? Boom. What's next? Boom, boom, boom. Just fire, fire, fire. So moving away from Costco, I gave my spiel about FXI, which is the large cap ETF for BABA, Chinese stocks, and so on. Let's go to the jetliners, the airliners. Delta Airline giving you a monster short today. Beautiful short opportunity on Delta Airlines. I was watching this play out and it was pretty clean, honestly. The stock opened up, bounced back, rejected exactly from yesterday's low, and then just started to sell off. You were risking maybe at best, you know, depending on where you got short. Let's say you got short 51.10 or $51 itself. If you got short 51.10, you are risking 10-15 cents at best. If you got short 51, then you're risking about 25-30 cents at best. And for risking 25 cents, you got about, let's just put the mark at 51, you got about 74 cents in reward. So for risking 30 cents, you got about two reward units on that, and then the stock basically bounced right back to the volume point of control, which will be pretty interesting. That's where the VWAP is coming into too, most likely expecting the stock to push back to the downside a little bit more, overextended on the daily chart. That's a big move to the upside, but it could easily find support in these areas too. You're going to be shorting the stock actually into moving averages, so you want to be careful doing that too. So notice how we got a bunch of moving averages coming into play right to the downside. Potential move into 49 would be awesome. I'm looking for that, you know, break below 50, taking it to 49, $48, where actually the most of the moving averages is. That would be awesome for us to take advantage of. So stocks like that, let's see if UAL, DAL set up, but there's one that I'm actually looking for the long side instead. This is AAL. So look how AAL set up over here. This one got beat down in the airliners a lot. I'm actually going to delete all these lines. Holy smoly. Okay, this one got beat down quite a bit out of all the airliners and didn't actually rally along with the rest of the airliners. So we technically have this box right now on this position from 1050 to 1150. We did manage to break out above it, but tomorrow if we find buying back above 1150, that's because the rest of the airliners are all strong. This could be a potential long because we could be running back into support over here, whereas Delta Airlines and UAL Airlines still got a little bit of a room back to the south side before it can find some real buying. But if they do find buying tomorrow in these names, I think AAL is a much cleaner long. It almost has the NIO feel to it. Nice little consolidation and then breakout. However, this could be taken a look as a failed breakout. So for this not to be a failed breakout, we need to really pop back above 1150 and stay above 1150 for us to be interested for a move into $12, for a move back above $12 on a swing scale. So that's what I'm looking for. I think anyone who wants to go long on the stock in these ranges will be ready to punch all the way to 1150 and higher than 1150. And if they're not willing to do it, then why would I want to even join on the long side? Because that is the side that's most likely failing at the moment. So keeping an eye on how the airliners do. If the airlines catch some traction and AAL gets back above this 1150 and stays strong above 1150, I think that shows you that the bulls have won again and the shorts have lost. And this time, this one's really gonna take off. No pun intended. No pun intended. So watching the airliners one more time. For the downside, DAL, UAL. For the upside, you can watch all three, but mostly I'm going to be watching AAL. Nvidia for the semiconductor basket name. So this one's going to be potentially the one in play tomorrow more because it has the stock split. Now the stock has already had enough of a stock split itself before the real split. It's split by 69% from the all-time highs right before the 10:1 stock split. So now it should be trading at $37 tomorrow. $40 tomorrow. So we'll see what happens on SMCI. Does it bring in more liquidity? Does it get sold off even more? Is this an opportunity for people to buy SMCI who haven't previously? Or is their hardware really good enough? Are they lying about their 10K? What does the DOJ find in their probe? So much to happen in over here, so much to find out about, but not enough time. So tomorrow, most likely all the focus might be on SMCI. This one's going to have quite a bit of a volume. It's going to start trading at the 10:1 stock split ratio. So keep an eye on this one for sure. And this one most likely will dictate how the rest of the semiconductors move around too. So a lot of the semiconductors recently, when SMCI's news catalyst came out, they all flushed down because of SMCI. So you want to be very careful. Keep an eye on this one. If this one starts taking out those lows, especially after a stock split, that could have some overall weight on the SMH sector, the semiconductor sector, and bring down some of these names who want to carry themselves higher, such as Nvidia, AMD actually doing decent. Intel, Micron pulled back quite a bit. TSM pulled back quite a bit. TSM pulled back all the way back into previous ranges, almost like the Chinese stimulus and the Chinese catalyst does not matter to it at all. So this one pulled back a lot more, along with the I guess TSM is not Chinese. Yeah. But they caught some traction along with it. Okay, so that's that. So watching to see how all these stocks do. Micron actually not looking too strong after its earnings report. Micron looking like it wants to pull back harder and get back below 100. So watching all of these semiconductor names, mostly with SMCI, watching how SMCI dictates the industry tomorrow. You can also take a look at ARM. ARM over under 145, over under 150, over under 140. So very clean levels on ARM over here for us to take advantage of the sector also. Walking down the list, a couple names that I just want to brag about is DJT. Remember when I said investing in DJT around $13 and risking $3 for a potential move back into $20, $30, $50 doesn't seem like a bad idea? Well, it looks like a great idea now, doesn't it? It looks like we bottomed out. Looks like the program selling has been stopped on DJT and we're getting that move to the north side. On any pullback, I would love to see if I can actually get into this stock. I'm still I'm not in it yet, but I just want to stroke my ego a little bit, talk to you about how that call out has been working pretty well, but sadly call outs don't make money. It's executions that make money. Here's another name that I want to keep an eye on, GME. GME consolidating in a pretty tight box at the moment and looking bullish. It did break out of the box but then closed under it, but looking pretty bullish if you look at this range. That's a classic bull flag. Are we gonna get that bull flag breakout into $25, either a short off of 25 or an even bigger breakout out of 25? DJT seems to be, sorry, not DJT, GME seems to be getting a little active. It randomly brings in volume some days and then makes a breakout. For example, yesterday on Friday, every time I say yesterday on a Monday, just know that it's a Friday. This volume out of nowhere runs up to the north side and then sells back down and shows you the strength the very next day. So very bullish patterns are being formed for a potential breakout again on GME. So watching this name to see what happens, and then watching DJT for a potential pullback to see if pullbacks get respected. But that one's more of a swing trade for me. Meta, beautiful consolidation into the all-time high. Basically, it's a market beta name. If the market's doing well, you can look to go long Meta. If the market's doing bad, you can look to short Meta, but I wouldn't necessarily look to short the strongest stock on the market. If you want to short anything, I would potentially go look to short Apple instead, because fuck Apple, right? Apple also at a beautiful level right there at 224, which is a triple top at this point. Either we break that and go to all-time highs because the market is just ridiculously strong like that, or Apple rejects around 224 and cannot hold above 224 and sells back down. Today, the all-time high, sorry, not all today, all-time high, 233. I thought it's 224. 233. 233 is the level. Let me just correct myself here. 233 is the level on Apple that we're keeping an eye on. Either we break above it and start holding above it, or we start staying below it. So Apple, pretty easy level over there. Tesla has been decently strong on the market. I wouldn't try and go short this unless it really looks bearish, like the whole market looks bearish. Then yeah, you can go ahead and look to short Tesla and Meta too, but just know that it was some of the most strongest stocks on the market. GLD pulling back quite a bit, SLV pulling back also. Potential opportunities on these on the pops. XLF looking to go back into the all-time high. Potential short on the pop there, or a potential breakout setting up on the bank sector. If the market keeps going up higher, I'm expecting the banks to do better, and I'm expecting XLF to potentially break out. That breakout above 46 on XLF should bring a pretty decent explosive long. Look how much it's been struggling to get above it. So if we actually manage to find buyers above 46 on XLE, that's going to be an awesome opportunity to keep an eye on. As for what I think for the overall market, your guess is as good as mine. We are holding above the FOMC. I believe that's the FOMC anchored VWAP, the most recent one. What day does that come to? Yep, Wednesday, FOMC. So that's the FOMC anchored VWAP, and we've been holding above the FOMC anchored VWAP ever since. So pretty bullish indication over here. Let's see if the QQQ can actually go back into all-time high, whereas the SPY has already broken its previous all-time high and getting ready to break it again based on today's move. So pretty bullish, pretty bullish, pretty bullish. Not happy when I say that at all. I hope I know you know why, because my inner bear tendencies are just crying. But tomorrow could open up for some sort of a long if we do break out above this all-time high on the market and show you rally above that. 574.71, let's just say 575 on the market, S&P 500. It's either we get above 575 and we stay strong above 575, or we just don't manage to hold 575 and give you some sort of an intraday short, maybe a little bit of a short scalp, but that short doesn't really open up until we get below 565. So expecting the market to be a big short is also crazy tomorrow. It could give you a nice scalp off of previous days highs, or it could give you a breakout out of previous days highs. Those are kind of the only two opportunities I can expect, but expecting a bigger short on the market unless we really go back and take out the previous all-time highs, it's crazy to even expect that. It's crazy to even expect that. So just be patient if you're waiting for the shorts. I think the market has still a lot of time to set up for that. Potentially election. Oh, I didn't say Alexa, I said election. Stupid machine. Let's take a look at what's in the economic calendar tomorrow. We got the PMI manufacturing numbers, the global US manufacturing PMI at 9:45, the ISM employment manufacturing numbers at 10 o'clock. We also have a bunch of other ISM numbers. Joel's job openings at 10 o'clock. That's a 3-star event. We got Fed member at 11 o'clock. Bostic. We also got a couple other Fed members, but those are just 1-star Fed members. So it looks like those might not have a big impact on the market tomorrow. Atlanta GDP numbers at 12 o'clock. And that one's after the market, so we don't really care about that. It's Powell talking tomorrow. Looks like he is not going to be on the microphone, but we do have a bunch of events during market hours, not at 8:30, not usually those are the times that are more important, but tomorrow we got intraday 9:45 10 o'clock. So keep an eye out to see how the market reacts to these numbers. Potentially gives us an opportunity intraday instead of pre-market itself, right? Sometimes 8:30 ends up being the main move, and you don't get the next leg of the move unless it's a really bullish day or a really bearish day. Then you just get a mean reversion or a chop around. So with numbers coming out at 9:45 at 10 o'clock, that could really be an opportunity for us to trade. Looks like the Japanese market down nearly 5% at this point. So the Japanese market taking a little bit of a beating today, and obviously if the Japanese market's going down, that could potentially cause some troubles in the Japanese interest rates and so on. And if Japan interest rates start going higher, although our interest rates are going lower, I think that net ratio should even itself out, so not a lot of people should be worried about lending money back and them costing that money on the lend back. But it should still cost some of the market to pull back, because if people do want to take profits. The market's at all-time high, right? The market's at all-time high. Let's take some profits on the markets and give back the money we owe to Japan at the current interest rates that we have locked into, unless we start getting forced into getting locked into a higher interest rate. So let's pay back our money, and now we can borrow money from our own government because our interest rates are lower. So let's just borrow from our own government, and then we just dump it back into the market. So they're just going to reshuffle, recycle the whole thing. So we want to be careful as to how the Japanese carryover trade plays a factor. We have seen how that was a problem in August. Market really pulled back when Bank of Japan raised interest rates. That pulled back the market nearly 10% and put it right into the bear market condition. But we managed to reverse that great August depression and basically turned it into the greatest August long the market's ever had. So we're gonna wait and see how that story plays out. If that story, how I said, plays out almost in a nothing burger way, because it's gonna cancel itself out, then look, I'm not an economist, right? I'm just thinking that's how it's gonna cancel itself out. You're still gonna see some people taking profits out of the market over here, and then paying back the money that they loaned from Japan, and then borrowing from a cheaper market, a different cheaper market, maybe our own market, because our market's eventually going to drop to the downside on the interest rates, or at least they're expected to. So lots of questions here that only time will tell. Only time will tell. NKE in play tomorrow, says Mikey. Well, not really. I don't think it will be, and even if it will be, I don't like to trade names that report on that very same day. So Nike reports tomorrow after hours. That means I might as well just wait to trade the very next day, unless Nike has a really big volume tomorrow and is making some sort of a crazy move that could indicate that somebody knows something about Nike before its earnings report even comes out. So if that's the case, then maybe there could be a play. You just follow the flow, look for a pattern to get long or short into. But generally, you don't see stocks doing anything on the day that they report, unless there's some sort of an insider secret, like Nancy Pelosi's buying some options and selling some calls or whatever it is. Then you might see a little bit of a fun action over there for us to play with. But if not, then I might as well just keep Nike on watch. Tomorrow night, that means it's on watch for Wednesday. So Nike, we'll talk about it tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Is the Shanghai stock market closed for 5 trading days for their holidays? Is it? I would not know. I don't actually know the time periods the Chinese market's open for. So we can check. Shanghai stock market hours. Open for trading Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 1500. But how about the holidays? So October 1st, Tuesday, October 7th, Monday. Oh, to October 7th, Monday. So it looks like they are closed for that. Plus September 29th. So that was yesterday. And October 12th, Saturday. Why did they have to put it so weirdly? Okay, so basically from September 29th until October 12th, I guess the market's going to be closed. Oh, I guess they're talking. I guess they put this in for futures. I guess they put this in for futures. Okay, so that's not how you basically say it. Only for the next week tomorrow, October 1st to October 7th. Looks like the Chinese market is going to be shut down. That will be interesting. That means, how does this actually... what does it mean for the Chinese stocks that are interlisted in North American markets? Do they actually have any volatility? Do they actually have any volume? You know, we know that the Chinese market's closed. That's actually crazy that China even allows their stock market to be closed 5 days in a row. Because the North American markets, I think there is a rule that the stock market cannot be closed for more than 3 business days in a row, if I remember correctly. So the Chinese markets being okay with their market being closed 5 days in a row is actually bonkers. That's insane. But we'll see if them being closed, what does it do to the liquidity? What does it do to the moves in itself on the Chinese names tomorrow? Maybe, you know, we'll see the Chinese names move around because the Americans are just pouring volume into it, but eventually they'll just net out, break even over the next 1 week period. And when they open up in the Chinese market, they just open up pretty much flat. That'll be interesting to keep an eye on. Pretty cool. I didn't know that, but that's amazing. That just means I'm gonna have to be a little bit more careful for the short side on the Chinese names tomorrow, but still looking to be short on any sort of a reject of the previous day's highs. Friday's high or today's high reject on the Chinese names, I'm looking to get short. I don't really see any IPOs that we might want to be interested in for September, so let me just quickly go to Baba here, put some notes in my levels in my notes. It's gonna be around, let's actually go to the 60-minute time frame. What is that? 108. Oh, 108 to 109.50. I don't want to see the stock above it. If it's above it, I am not looking short. Hinduo Duo. Man, that's quite a bit of a long way, but if it does go there, I'm ready to go short right into 139, giving it up to 142. 139, above 139, which was today's high, is 143. So watching those two areas is a potential resistance on Pinduo Duo. JD was fairly strong today. I mean, it ended green, fairly strong. Managed to bounce off of Friday's high, managed to bounce off of Friday's close. So pretty strong name. Not sure if you want to really be looking short on this one. Maybe if the FXI market looks strong, you could actually look to get long on Baidu and on JD. You can look how most of the volume on Baidu today and yesterday is right into this 105 area, and we're holding pretty strong on the hourly chart above this 104.50, 105 area. So if the FXI market's actually strong, you could potentially look for a long on this market, on these two names. Baidu looks pretty good for a long side, and JD looks pretty good for a long side as long as they continue holding this level. Once we get below this, I'm not really looking for that one anymore. For this one, what is the number that we just throw in? 3244, 3250. Okay, 3250. Basically don't want to see FXI above 3250 if I'm thinking short, but right above 3250 you basically have today's high into 3280, basically $33. You're still watching this area, but if we do make a pop in here and start holding above here, does the chart even look bearish for you? Imagine a stock like this doing something like that. Does that really look that bearish to you? Not really. So you want to be pretty careful looking for a short there at that point tomorrow. But those levels, just wanted to quickly point them out to myself. That way I have them in my watch list. So I'm locked and loaded. Let's see if I'm forgetting anything else. We talked about the earnings board. We talked about the economic board. We talked about how there's lack of IPOs. We went through our watch list. Pretty extensive watch list, but most of it is China and semiconductors. So keeping an eye on that one. Ooh, we forgot to talk about Micron for our good friend Barkit. So let's go to Micron real quick in the semiconductor basket. We briefly talked about Micron, about how it looks fairly bearish and fairly weak right now. You can see how it's for how strong the earnings reports came out and how much we gapped up, you would expect the stock to at least hold up in this range, but it did not. So at this point, you know, we're looking at a possible gap fill back into $96. That means the stock could easily get below 100. Easy number to play a trade on Micron is that under over $100, that psychological $100 area. I'm not saying that it has to have any significance. No one's obligated to buy $100 on the stock. No one's obligated to buy any price on any stock, right? But sometimes people are lazy. They just blindly throw an order. They go, oh, it's only $3 away from 100. I'll just throw it at 100, and then I'll see if it fills me, it fills me. If not, it doesn't. Some people get very lazy like that. So if it does have any volume at 100 and actually shows you buying above 100 just because it has a psychological level, maybe we could potentially look for a long. But I'm not really looking to fight that $100 area at all. I'm looking for more of a gap fill right back into 96, at which point then I'm really game on looking for the long on this position. And based on how the stock has already played out, if we get a pop into today's high or Friday's low, that's already looking for a short. So pop into 107, 108 is just a almost no-brainer short for me. I'm looking to short the shit out of the stock on any pops, because we've already established that you have no buyers in this pocket of area where the stock has clearly fought to be above on earnings day, fought to be above this area on earnings day. And now any jackass who bought above earnings day over here, if they have paper hands, they're gonna punch out on the way down. Anyone who bought on the earnings day or the day after, you're gonna have a lot of trouble holding this position if you have paper hands. If you have diamond hands and you can hold all the way up to 83 bucks, shout out to you. You're not gonna get washed out, you're not gonna get stopped out. But if you have paper hands, you're gonna have to answer the market. Where is your stop? So on any pops, if the selling continues, I'm looking to drop it like it's hot. Well, as shows as you are unusually over optimistic. I'm not sure what that means. I'm not optimistic or unoptimistic. I'm just realistic, talking about where I think the market could go or not go. Mainly playing level to level, level to level. You see, TH, I try not to have an extremely strong bias like you, because that only does one thing: it hurts people. Bias doesn't do good to anybody, man. Keep those biases yourselves. The market only cares about your buying power. Do you have buying power? Put it to work. If not, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Okay, quickly going down my watch to see if I'm forgetting any names over here. I do want to go put in some notes for NIO and XPEV and so on. So XPEV, basically 1275, playing under over 1275 on XPEV. That $12. Okay, I can play a breakdown at 12 also. I can play a breakdown at 12. Let's go see Lee Auto. Did have a little pop above that, I guess. 26.55 to 20. Potential move down to this area or even lower. If that 25 or lower. Could play a breakdown at 25 too. That would be awesome. Bunch of room to the downside that could open up on Lee Auto. Hell yeah. And NIO, I'm not really looking to short that name too much. That one has quite a bit of a base to the downside that I don't want to really fight. Don't want to really fight. TraderPrad forgot about Disney. I mean, do I really care about Disney? No, that's a no. Sorry, Momo, that's a no. I can't look at 15 million stocks on the market. It's just not what I want to do. I don't want to trade all of them. I don't want to be in all of them. Right now, the hottest market is the Chinese sector, and that's the only sector I want to be in. Tomorrow, it's going to be most likely semiconductor sector because of SMCI's movement, and Chinese sector is not really moving tomorrow because China's on a hiatus. China's going on a little break. So if that's the case, then I just go to the hottest sector and next hottest sector. I don't have to trade these stupid names like Disney just because it made a little pop from all-time low into, well, maybe not all-time low, just because it made a little pop from August to here. A lot of stocks made these pops. These are not interesting at all. Those are not interesting at all. There's way better stocks that you want to day trade for. This is boring. I don't care about this. There's way better stocks to keep an eye on. And I have a lot on my watch list already. I'm done looking at more stocks. Wow, this one actually went into that pop and then rejected. Intel's classic. It's just beautiful. What more do you want from this position? Like clockwork, 2450, 2 days in a row, short. Beautiful. Actually, I think Nathan from Investor Underground actually talked about that trade now that I remember it. Prad giving what putting in work looks like. I appreciate that. Let's take a look at Nathan killed it on NIO shorts today too. Look at this short. Oof. Killed it on NIO, on XPEV, on Lee Auto. I was telling you about these shorts, boys. I was telling you the higher these stocks go, the better the shorts. And here is the Intel short I'm looking for that he traded 2460, 2450, riding it to the downside. Level to level, that's all you're playing. You're looking at a stock on a top-down approach. Maybe start at a monthly chart if you feel like, and if you feel like the monthly chart is just too much noise, move it down to, usually that's crazy, then move it down to the daily, move it down to the weekly, move it down to the hourly, the 15, the 30, the 5. I wouldn't say trade off the 1 minute, although you are looking to execute on the 1 minute. Trade off the 5 minute. Look for how the 5 minute patterns play out on the stock. For example, was that really that hard to get? Right? You have yesterday, last week's high right there already marked out for you. What does the stock really do? Struggle into last week's high? You're seeing buying stall out, more selling come in. On any pops, buying stalls out, more selling come in, and we're just taking out previous candle lows. We're not able to take out the previous candle highs. Is that really hard to get short over there and risk that, and then you're getting a big swing to the downside as risk to reward? And if you really hold this position as a swing trader, you're getting an even bigger move to the downside. I mean, the target really for that swing trade is all the way back into $22, but that's a whole different move. Right now, Intel has some sort of a potential news catalyst that could come out at any point, so you want to be careful for all that. But this is all that these takes, guys. If you want to be a better trader, I'm not saying, you know, watch me every single day, but follow the right guys. Follow the right guys. And if these guys are trading the same things that you are writing down in your watch list, then understand what they're doing and try to emulate what they're doing. These are the same levels and plays that I call out to you guys, but sometimes even I fail to trade them. So when I see traders like Nathan go out there and actually execute these names the way I want to, for example, today, I told you I did not trade at all. I just sat there, watched the market move. But this was basically my trade, right? I was talking about shorting NIO, or at least XPEV and Lee Auto. The higher these names go, the more I want to look for the short. Wasn't that just a simple short, getting $2 per share for risking barely even $2? He was risking at best maybe 15 cents as a back entry through 14. Got short on the breakdown of pre-market lows most likely. Took some profits into the first stall. Took more profits on the way down. Added on the pops. Added all the way into the pops. Possibly created the VWAP himself because of how much he's shorting into the pops over there. And then added all the way down. Covered some into the lower day. And then pyramided more. And then just rode it. Oh, beautiful trade right there. Look at Lee Auto basically doing the exact same thing. These are the trades that I was talking about. So if I did not manage to do this, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take his trades and I'm going to write them up on this template called... Where is it? Where's the template? There it is. Write them up on this template. Oh no! The trade template has been offline now, Lance. We need your help, but I'll probably help you guys. If you guys need the trade template, just hit me up on social media. I have it in my Notions documents and so on. But you want to document these trades so the next time you see them, you can emulate them and replicate them yourselves. That's all it takes, guys. Follow people who are doing what you want to see do, and then learn from their charts. Maybe slide into their DMs and ask them if you have any questions. Most of these guys love helping people. That's the beauty about the top level traders. They might have a little ego. I'm not saying Nate does. They might have a little ego, these top level traders on Twitter. But if you manage to ask a legitimate question and you know, if they see that you're putting in the hard work, I promise you, if you take these charts from Nate today and make documented notes about them and post them on Twitter and tag him and ask him what he thinks about him, I promise you he'll reply to them. He will reply to them 100%. Focus on what the traders are doing that you want to be doing like, and then study from those traders, guys. It's not that hard. And on that note, I'm going to call it a night. Wish you guys a very, very profitable day on the market tomorrow. Thank you for joining your boy TraderPrad. As always, it's been a pleasure. I enjoy doing this show for you, so please hit that like, hit that subscribe if you enjoyed it. Only if you enjoyed it, okay? If you did not, I'll try harder next time. Obviously, we're here Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. and usually Sunday, 6 p.m. I kind of want to stop doing Sunday 6 p.m. I'll be honest. I think I'll only do Sunday 6 p.m. if I have a special guest. Because I want my Sunday episodes to be more podcast episodes. And I have more fun doing those than you know, doing the same stock market stuff, because it gets boring. It gets so boring saying the same stuff every single day sometimes. And I get so annoyed, so bored. And I don't know how you guys come and watch it every single day. How do you guys not get bored? So I feel like I want to make some new content, and I want to save Sunday for a special content episode. So I want to go out there, get more guests for you guys. I'm a little afraid to reach out some of the guests, but I'll get more guests. We'll also get repeating guests. We'll get Victor and all the other fun people who've been on here before, and see what we got to do. You got to be happy about what you're doing, man. We jerk off all together. Angry Buddha, you're so gay, dude. You're so gay. All right, guys. I'm going to go join that circle jerk with Angry Buddha on Discord. Apparently, they're jerking off to me, so I'm probably going to go ahead and jerk off to myself, too. On that note, I'll catch you guys all in the Discord circle jerk. Have yourself a great night and an even better market session tomorrow. TraderPrad out. Love you guys. Adios. Check out all the links below in the description. Bye. Up after the after hours with your host TraderPrad. I'm doing great. Hopefully you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around. Might just be a risk on type of day, so let's see what happens. 8 o'clock tomorrow. As you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to. Trader Sync, promo code down below, promo code PRAD15 to get 15% off. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.